The Real Show is brought to you by UCS Facility Management Limited, Omni Basic Bank, and Dewdrop Hand Sanitizer.
Welcome back to The Real Show, and if you just joined us, we are about to have another fun, educative and inspiring episode as usual. I have a great woman in my midst, and before I tell you more about her and begin our conversation, let's have a look at this introductory video. Welcome, Honorable.
Thank you very much.
I love the fact that you're wearing prints. Today we are all wearing prints. So
yes, so we must promote the African, you know, to create more job opportunities for the youth.
Great, you have spoken well. Well, I hope you had a lovely week.
Yes.
So tell us, first of all, how did you get into politics?
Well, I would like to say thank you very much for having me on this, your great show. You know, it's a very great platform that when you're invited to come, that means, hey, you are also out there. Well, little did I know that I can even venture into politics because I'm not all that tolerant. Yes, trust me. I don't know, all started way back when my late auntie, Hawa Yakubu, that was the first vice chairperson for NPP when Chairman McMahon was the chairman, and then Dan Butchie was the general secretary, then now the local government minister. So it was during their elections. That day it was 24th. No, during their elections, and 24th December, I was on my way to go for my ticket for Kojenchi show. Oh. You know, those days Kojenchi used to perform every 24th.
Wow.
So it was on my way that I had a call that your auntie said you should come. I say, hey, you know, that time as a young girl full of, you know, life, I want to go to this, you know, Kojenchi show. I mean, unless you are a guy before you can even get the ticket to go. So I said, okay, let me go. So when I was saying, your auntie said, get prepared, you are going to Lagos with her. I said, oh, this woman. Me too, I'm also a ringleader of my group that we have to go to the show that night. So I said, okay, so I quickly, you know, those times too, mobile phone wasn't common like today, unless you go to the phone booth and go and make a call with your card, you know. I wasn't even having a card that time, so I have to borrow someone's card at the booth to call them that, hey, this is what has happened, so I can't make it up to the Kojenchi show. So we went to Lagos, you know, Port Harcourt, and then other states. When we came back, I wanted to come to my mother, but I was still with her. So through that, I wasn't all that much into it because I could see the stress that she was going through. You know, when she comes back from Nigeria or when she travels and come back, you see a lot of people in the house. I mean, somebody will come in the morning and the person will leave at night. Wow. So you can just imagine what the woman was going through. Whether you have it or not, she has to give it out. And she was also the type that if even one dime, she would just give it out. Yes. So way back then, we moved to Ofanko with my mother. My mother too also happened to be an assemblywoman at Newtown. All that while I wasn't all that much into it. So when we went to Ofanko, the place was so quiet, and my business too was also not that the busy type. I do my supplies. So one day I said, okay, let me go to one of my cousins who stays within the heart of the Ofanko township. Okay. That's the main village of Ofanko. So I went there. It was one Sunday, and they were having a meeting. So my cousin invited me to join them. So I joined them and said, okay, now we have a visitor, so we would like her to talk to...
You are the visitor?
Yes. And so I wasn't ready. I wasn't prepared. I said, no. Humu kai magana. Is he in Hausa? I said, okay.
What does that mean?
You will talk.
Okay.
Yes. It was like she was forcing me to
like
talk.
You can do it.
Like I can do it. So not that I can't do it, and then she was forcing me to do it, but I didn't go there
to
join the club, or the club was called Yensom Yensom. Nyamwami, Nyamwami. So, my first day when I spoke, and they were like, wow, where from this woman? The second week, they invited me, I went, and now they were chasing me to come and join the club. I said, no, the way I am, if I'm doing something, I go all out, and I don't want to do 50-50 things. So, they should just let me be. My cousin will always come to me, and then, Adam Accra, leave me alone. So one day, before I returned from my usual work, and then there was a letter for me that I should come and be their advisor. Wow. So I spoke to my mom, my late mom, may her soul rest in perfect peace.
Amen.
I said, Hajia, look, I said, even the dead even need more. How much more the living one? So go and join them. They've seen something in you. So go and help them. So I became their advisor. Then, that was, then they said, no, I have to contest for the assembly election. And I said, oh no, I can't because my time. So no, you have to. And that was the time that there was this cholera outbreak. So I helped them to organize a free program that was massive. It was massive. Even that time, it was Metro TV even came to cover that program. It was very massive. It rained that day, but after the rain, we had a very successful program, and it was so good that everybody was like, no, you have to contest for this assembly election. And there were a lot of things that we were all doing together with the community. You see, politics is all about communication. Communication is always key. Wherever that you find yourself, communication is an essential tool that everybody must always make sure that you communicate. Because if you don't communicate well, you get all your things done wrong. So therefore, I contested the assembly election, and that time it was 24 polling stations. Wow. And I won all the polling stations. Wow. I had 1,775 votes.
You remember?
Yes.
That's interesting.
It was such a heated contest. Trust me. Women, when women want to venture into politics, the men will tag you with so many names. This woman is a prostitute. This woman doesn't do anything. That's why she's always walking around campaigning. A whole lot. So if you are not determined, if you are not focused, at the end of the day, you will be discouraged, and whatever that is in you that you want to help the community with, you will be discouraged, and then you can't do it. And you see, politics, one or the other, to me, I see it as a religion, because it's like somebody cannot do it. And God has ordained you to front for that person. So do it and do it well. And mashallah, you get the blessings. So that's how I see politics. But people say politics is a dirty game. But then sit back, analyze it very well. It is also a religion. So that was how I got into politics.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a beautiful story.
Yeah.
And congratulations, even though that was past, that's the past thing.
Yeah.
Congrats on winning all the 24 polling stations. And the fact that you even remember means you're very passionate and into what you're doing. And we need more women like you to inspire us to do more. And now this is your second term. Yes,
this is my second term.
Now, most of the time, people say that the moment you enter into politics, you either get motivated to keep going or you lose interest. Now, let's compare the first term to the second term. Would you say that is the case for you?
Oh no, it has motivated me to go further, because aside the assembly, me being an assembly member, I am an NPP activist. I'm a strong member of NPP, which I'm doing very well for my party, and my government who is in power, my government who is also doing very well, which I think I need to do very well too, because I always say that fine. During the 2016, when His Excellency Nana Abudu Andani Dankwa Akufo-Addo was campaigning, one of his promises was that he's going to make a free SHS. And that free SHS, you know what? We, the assembly members, we benefited it most. Why am I saying this? Because at the end of the day, in the morning, you see people knocking at your door. They will come and wake you up for school fees, for whatever. Because the mindset of Ghanaians is that, most Ghanaians, that once you're a politician, all my burden depends on you. But then that's not so. You see, so I worked hard to make sure that my party come to power, to be able to implement that. So for that one alone, when I see this free SHS, I'm always glad, simply because I have been able to pay my quota, and somebody somewhere is also benefiting from my sweat.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly. Now, let's talk about some of your projects for your second term. Most people feel like Ofankor is now a developing area, so there's probably a whole lot of work to be done.
Yeah.
So if you can share with us some of your plans and maybe past plans that you're still working on for this term.
Well, with the with developmental project, you know, assembly members, we are the agent of development in our various electoral areas. That is the local governance system. You see, the local governance system is one of which area that I love most if we are all to go, because at the end of the day, the person, you see your assembly member.
Yes, you are
so
closest
you are close.
to the
Yes,
people.
you see the proximity. So she or he is the one that you always need to talk to, not the parliamentarian. He is there to make the laws for us. You see, but when you are the other, we need more education on that. Yes, when I won my assembly election for the first time, I spoke, people were like, hey, my stage name is Obana. Obana sent to the Aji Babia. They were like, Obana, so are you not going to throw a party for us? So I was always thinking, I said, God, what should I do? What should I do? So it was like, okay, fine. Let me organize a program for widows and aged. So I organized a program for widows and aged to be able to also empower some of them. Because if a widow is being empowered, the thinking will reduce, the BP will go down, because they don't need much. It's just some little things that at least they can be counting something, you know. So with the other with other sponsors, I had sponsors from Tobinco Pharmaceutical, the wife, other sponsors to Japia, to be able to empower the women. So that day I was lucky. I had now the second lady, Haja Samira Baumia, grace the occasion. And the women were so happy to see that beautiful woman there in their midst dancing with them. You see, that's one alone. There was a woman who walked to me and said, Meba, aduane na wocha ye ne manya bi. Duku na wocha ye ne manya bi. Nanso no, uma me pie free me dem nko an nyame nhyiraw. That one alone, I can never forget it. So meaning that our widows, we shouldn't neglect them. They need us.
They are usually left behind.
Behind. You see that I can never forget it. The woman just walked to me. And you know that day when I was entering, to be honest, if it hadn't been my mother who was at my back that day, maybe I would fall, because the crowd that was there, I was shocked, because it was above my expectation. And my Ofankor chief too, New Kote Boy II, that man has been so supportive. My Zongo chief, Alhaji Issa, has been so supportive. And after that too, the Ofankor township, as at that time they were having issues with electricity, power fluctuation up and down, so I was able to change all the wiring system. I rewired all the Ofankor township, brought 75 light poles, brought 2 transformers to embark, to boost their electricity, taking care of widows and other things, clean up exercises a lot. So because of that, the Ofankor chief, New Kote Boy II, installed me as a Noya Manye. That is a development queen mother. For a Nodna to be installed in a Garland as a Noya Manye. That means it tells a lot. It tells a lot. And with this, my second term too, I have done a lot. You see, there was a time that I beautified the Ofankor runabout with school children using the Voltic plastic bottle, the empty one, to make sure that it is waste, but it's not waste. It is also usable somewhere else. That's recycling with Voltic, and it was so nice. The Ofankor post office, I painted it. The place was floody, muddy.
It's a whole lot of work.
A whole lot of work, because I take passion. I feel so good when contributing to my community, because your community members are your guardian angels. Something will happen to you right now before your brother who is a president or whatever will come to your aid. The community member, your neighbor who will first come to your aid. Exactly. So my community members, and I also thank them so much. They've been so supportive, because some short period now, I've not been able to be with them a lot because I lost my mom. So, I took back small the stage, but then now I'm recovering. So much is yet to be done there.
That is great. And once again, a big congratulations.
Thank you.
We are super proud of you. And as my viewers are watching, I'm sure they're all being inspired by your works. And if anybody is having plans of being a leader, they are going to add passion and dedication to also be able to achieve, because like you have set the example that they would learn to follow. But let's talk about your foundation. You have a foundation for women.
Yes.
The women in the Zongo. Tell us about that and some of the projects you have ahead.
Well, Mandogi Foundation, yes, it's my personal foundation. But now that I have lost my mom, Haji Adamata Suleimana, Mami, may your soul rest in perfect peace. Now it's going to be Haji Adamata Foundation. I'm changing the name to my mom's name, because my mom was a senior midwifery officer. She was also an assemblywoman, a politician, a very strong politician for that matter. So I'll always make sure her name always remains in the people's minds. Yes, in the Zongo communities, you know, with our Zongo community, sometimes when you see, I always say that if I'm to be given the chance, I'll always be the Nodna, and then the Zongo girl, the Zongo girl, the Zongo girl, because there are a lot that we need to do or give back to our people. And when you relate to them very well, they always hold you in a high esteem. But when you try to underrate them, to look down upon them, that is where they also get furious at you. I've done a lot with them, going to Suna. Suna means Adore, the Aures, the whatever, free hair screening, a lot of things. And now we have even the Ganof Muslims Women Association, which I am the PRO. My late mom was the president, but now that she's not in, my uncle's wife, who is Hajia Fati, is now the president. Then Hajia Rabi is the vice president. I'm the PRO, and I make sure that everything is done well. Well, I'm a human being. I cannot get everything to be 100%. But hey, I'm doing my best to make sure that with the Zongo community, we also get there.
Great. But I also know that you're into food business, right?
Oh, yes.
You will tell us about that and tell us how you're able to combine everything and still stay amazing.
Yes, yes. And even with the Zongo community too, my Zongo chief, Alaji Isa, has also installed me as a queen mother to Ejakadia. Ejakadia is the person that if you want to talk to the chief, you have to pass through me to let me know whatever that's before getting to the chief. I mean, it has not been easy for me though, but I always sit back and ask myself that, God, you knew all these things. Why didn't you let me go in earlier? Because it's like, why? I mean, too many things at the same time. But I know He's giving me the strength, the energy, the patience, I mean, to be able to get there. Yes, I'm to food. I love to cook because I like food.
Don't we all?
Yes, I like to cook a lot. My passion is cooking and talking. Yes, so I have my restaurant, that is Dilley's Place. If you check even on Honorable Esla Owusu's Facebook, you'll see Facebook, or you see it there. I cook wache, tuzafi, kwankwan, tubani, guinea fowl, and then also very soon Dilley stew will be out. Yes.
Is that a special type of stew?
Yeah, very special type of stew. That's what most people say, Hausa stew. You see, it has always been shito. But then these days, because of the sickness around, whatever, if you have your good stew, you can come have your rice. You can buy your rice, cook your yam. You have your Dilley stew. You are good to go with it. Yes, I do deliveries by myself. But these days, yes, I do deliveries by myself. Yeah, I go to offices. It's in my car. I go, I knock. This is Dilley. I have TZ. I have this. So when you try it once, you always call me for it. Yes, and my TZ too is the type that you have to be able to eat it with the green stew, with the green soup alone, not even with the stew. The stew is just the garnishing of it, but the proper TZ, you should be able to eat it with the green one. Yes, and because I'm contesting for Greater Accra Regional Women Organizer, these days I take orders. Because God has been so faithful to me that I've been able to build my clientele base now. So now people call me and then they order, and I take orders from 10 people and above. Especially this festive season that is coming, Christmas. Let's just change our menu a bit. Let's try Dilley's Wache, and you will never regret it.
Well, because of time, I want us to go straight to how you are able to juggle all these. You're into politics, you're a leader, you have been installed as manye, ahead
No,
manye,
yeah,
right?
manye.
Yes, and then people pass through you to your king, your chief, and you cook as well. You know, you manage a family, you have a home, I mean, you have a personal life, and you do all these on the side. Tell us, what's your secret? How do you manage to keep everything going?
Yeah, I would say it's Ya Allah and my mother, the upbringing.
Okay.
I will always say thank you to my grandmother and my mother. And when I was a child, we were in Kumasi. I was born and bred in Kumasi. Accra is just a transit. My father was a master at Prempeh College.
Oh, okay.
My stepmother used to cook wache to sell. So the Prempeh guys, so they know my stepmother, they call it awas. Yes, the man for guys, yeah, awas. And then my mother too was also a nurse. My grandmother too also used to cook and sell. So, you know, being a first granddaughter, a female, I was born into that.
Okay.
So no matter what, you pick it up. Yeah. And my grandmother too was the type that if you cook and the food is not nice, you eat it all by yourself. And you'll be given some time. Oh, yes.
You have to sit and finish it.
You have to sit and finish it. Oh, yes. So that was how I have been able to do all these things. And my mother too. My mother was a nurse. She cook and sell. She sews. I mean, she sells things on credit.
You have a lineage of hard-working women who inspired you.
That is it.
I guess that's a great factor.
That is it. That is it. And even with my grandmother, on Saturdays, very early in the morning, you have to walk to the farm and go and get firewood. Wow. Yes, and then you come back home. You know, Kumasi type of house is the big compound house that you come back, you cook. At the same time, you'll be fetching water. You see, like that type, you tell that your uncle's wives are your mothers, so you have to serve them. And I do that with passion. I do it with love.
Wow.
So, and sometimes 2 weekends after that, I say, come on, quickly, go to Kumasi Market, Bode, and go and sell tomatoes. So there was a woman that, then you let the woman, whom will be coming. So before I can sell about two boxes of tomatoes.
Wow.
Yes, because I was smart, I laugh. The way I am, you will buy from me.
So if I'm getting you right, you have to be inspired by people who are doing well. You were lucky you had hardworking women in your lineage who were inspiring you. You have to be open-hearted and do things with love and passion. And then you have to be hardworking. Yeah. That's what I've picked so far. Yeah. What else? If there's something else.
and always learning too. And I like giving a helping hand. Yes. I wouldn't mind if I come here and say, oh, sweeping, I'll just do it. I'll just help you. By so doing, you are always learning. You see, we learn everywhere, not only in the classroom. Yes. Wherever you find yourself, you must learn.
Honorable, this has been a great conversation, and honestly, I am inspired. If anybody is watching from home, they are inspired to know that whatever it is they set their mind to, they can also achieve it just like you. But before you leave, is there any parting words you'd like to give us?
Yes. All that I will say to the youth today is they have to take their time. If you are a child, you need to crawl before you start walking. Yes. You can't start walking and be running. No. And the end times are here. Please, we should stick to Allah. And Allah will do everything for us. And also, I thank you too very much for this platform.
Oh, we thank you so much for gracing us when we invited you over as well.
And my number is 0244 060648. If you want to order from Dilley's place, yes, Metro TV, please order from me.
Oh, we will.
And build my company.
Definitely, we will. We are
my
here
regards to my MC, to my newly elected MC, Honorable Simon Sechim, my MP, Honorable Moses Enim, and all to everybody. Thank you. And my handsome baby boy. Yeah.
Well, thank you all so much for sticking with us through the first segment of the show. This has been an amazing conversation. So she's leaving us with a message that in everything that you do, there are stages. Don't start as a baby to try to walk and run. It comes in stages, but everything will be sorted, and believe in God. And like she said, do everything with your heart, be willing to learn, love, be hardworking, and keep the zeal, because like here, you can do anything you put your mind to.